Hello everybody, Timothy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about robots in role-playing games. We're going to start off right away with the After the Bomb role-playing game by Palladium Books. The robots they have in here are the Type 3 AI security robots. Now these robots are, well, we won't call them the most advanced, but basically I'll kind of give you a rundown of these things. So you see the stats here. IQ 4. In this game system, you take the attribute of IQ, which is 4, multiply it by 10, and that's how smart it is, an IQ of 40. So it has an intelligent quotient of 40. So not the smartest thing. It has brute strength of PS 24, and I'm going to take a quick look here if I can find it real fast about the different types of strength. You'll have to bear with me a minute here. There we are. Okay, so, all right, here we are. Brute strength. It says a character with a PS of 17 or greater, which this one is considered to have brute strength and can carry 20 times their PS as well as 50 times their PS for lifting. Their maximum PS is 30. So this thing's almost tapped out as far as how strong it is. So that means, since it has a strength of 24, so 24 times 50, and I don't have my calculator on me, so anyway, it can lift quite a bit. So it's got a physical prowess of 18 and a speed of 22, which is approximately 15 miles per hour. So basically, the physical prowess of 18 gives it about a +2 to strike, parry, and dodge, making it a little better at combat than, say, someone without a prowess. In this game is like a dexterity in other games. So you see the AR there, AR 15. Any roll to strike under the AR does no damage, but rolls 16 or higher inflict full damage. So basically on a D20, you need to roll a 15 or higher, 16 or higher to actually do damage to the robot. Otherwise, the bullet or laser beam or whatever you're shooting at it just bounces off. It has SDC of 300, that's its health. SDC for humans is kind of like your cuts, your scrapes, your bruises. Hit points, which this robot does not have because it's not alive. Hit points are like your broken bones, your torn muscles, things like that. It weighs 685 pounds and is 10 feet tall. It has a built-in telescopic sight, passive night vision optics at 2,000 feet. It has active night vision, infrared, 3,000 feet. Thermal optics and can see through smoke at 600 feet. It has a targeting sight 1 mile in range, motion detector, radio comm link 100 mile range, searchlight 400 feet illumination, loudspeaker, alarm siren, radiation detector, and a compass. It is not designed for underwater options. A video camera and transmitter 100 mile can be mounted on the shoulder, but reduces bonuses to strike, parry, and dodge by -1, probably because it's bulky. It's basically designed to function as a guard by sounding an alarm, an audio alarm, and chasing away or destroying intruders. Likewise, it is to destroy and repel any invaders and all mutant animals. So, basically, the world that this robot was built in, humans around the 21st century unlocked the human's genome, basically, and they started experimenting with animals, and at some point later on, someone, no one really knows who in the game, basically released what was called a gene bomb, hence why it's called After the Bomb. The gene bomb basically eradicated a lot of human life. Whether it was intentional or accidental, nobody really knows. But basically, here in North America, you have two basic large factions. You have the Empire of Humanity, which is a human supremacy group where it's kind of like humans only, kind of like the Nazis if they were only about humans. But they do allow mutant dogs, which dogs are like man's best friends, so that's why they allow them. And the dogs are 100% loyal to these humans. They don't care how evil they are. And then you have the other empire called Cardania. This is mostly mutant animals and those sympathetic mutant animals. It's a democracy run by a president. Okay, now, programming flaws. Has a nasty habit of killing everybody it sees, humans included. 12% chance during minor skirmishes or light firefights. There is a 33% chance during a medium firefight and a 50% chance during a heavy or intense battles or mass invasion, 300 or more intruders rushing the robot's position. There's a 68% chance if recognized mission parameters have been set to include mutants with human looks, partial and full. Basically, in this game, like I said, they were experimenting on animals. Although some of that was to make animals walk and talk like people, and they can even get to animals to start looking like people at some point. So that's where that comes in. The latter is obvious animal traits like wings, tails, horns, pointed ears, 1 feet, claws, etc. However, the security robot can easily mistake a dangling belt or piece of rope as a tail, helmet or hat for horns or animal features, a gas mask as an animal snout, gloves for a clawed animal hand, and so on. Identifies Empire canine mutants as enemy mutants and destroys them without hesitation. That's the canines that the Empire of Humanity normally uses. Easily fooled by mutant animals with full and perfect looks, even if there are minimal animal features, into accepting them as human. In fact, it is this confusion that tend to send the robots into extermination mode of every creature they spy. Stands and fights without taking cover, leaving it open to attack and destruction, meaning it'll kind of stand out in the open and let you shoot at it. I mean, it'll shoot back, but it won't like hide behind a door or anything like that. Does not try to protect or rescue human troops, but simply stands to engage the enemy, ignores the wounded or dangerous situations. It gets 4 attacks per round in a 15-second round. And that's kind of the only robots they have in the After the Bomb RPG. As you can see, they're not the smartest or the brightest, but they have their uses. And we're going to move on now to the Champions Super role-playing game. This is done by Hero Games. There is a MMO based, not specifically after this one. I believe there's 6 editions to this game. And their Champions Online is kind of based off this kind of RPG-ish kind of thing. Now, in this game, they're not called robots, they're called automatons. Basically, when you design an automaton, you basically start with a strength of 10, a speed of 2, and 6 inches of running. 1 inch is about 2 meters on the game map, so it can run 12 meters, basically, in one phase, which is about 1 second. Okay. Basically, you can purchase increased characteristics, which that's like your stats. You can purchase skills and powers, just like any superhero. However, the automaton is not really a sentient living being, so it has a 0 ego and is immune to all ego attacks. There is a superpower in this game called ego attack, so it's immune to it. Automations often buy back their endurance to 0 and then buy all their powers down to a 0 end or through an endurance reserve. Some special effects of literacy automatons can be bought with regular powers and effects. A builder should look especially closely at the individual parts of life support to create an automaton that doesn't need to eat, for instance. That would be kind of like your power. It is possible to give an automaton a computer brain, or, like it says in fantasy settings, magical instructions. The computer will give the automaton orders. To buy a computer brain costs 1 point for every 5 points in the computer. For more information on perks and other restrictions, see perks. So, now, basically, because an automaton has no free will, it can only act by following commands. An automaton can have a number of simple commands or programs equal to its intelligence. So if it has an intelligence of 10, which is the average human, it can follow 10 basic commands. An automaton's commands can include statements like, shoot anyone who comes through this door and who is not wearing a badge, drive the car to the headquarters. The automaton must have the requisite skill to execute a command. So in other words, the first one is to shoot anyone who comes through the door not wearing a badge. It would have to have the knowledge of what the badge is, and then it also would need the ability to use a gun or whatever weapon it might be using. Drive the car means it would have to have some kind of transport familiarity with the appropriate car. So basically, it says if the automaton is commanded to fire a gun, It must have familiarity with the gun, just like a character. Unlike a character, though, I should add that the automaton cannot use it unskilled, whereas a character can. If the automaton is commanded to drive a car, it must have vehicle familiarity and city knowledge, unless someone can give it orders or directions. An automaton has no everyman skills nor free languages, and basically, I'll see if I can hunt down the everyman skills real quick so you can see what those are. Let's see. Oh, we're getting real close. Here we are. Oh, one page off. Here we go. So, depending on the setting of the game, will depend on the everyman skills. So if you're doing like a Viking fantasy, those will be the skills that everybody would know. But in the case of the robot doesn't get these. Modern ones would be like these skills here. And your science fiction one are the same as the modern, just with computer programming added to it. But basically, your regular basic characters all have those, but the automaton does not. Now, basically, the automaton can buy these things, or the person building it can buy them. So basically, usually an automaton follows the last order it received. If an automaton has not received an order, it will stand lifeless, gathering dust. The way that an automaton receives commands is defined when the automaton is created. The method can be as simple as giving a verbal command, or complex as downloading a computer program. Normal automatons are affected by damage just like any character. They have defenses, take stun, etc. However, because they have no free will, automatons are completely unaffected by all mentally targeted attacks using ego, which we have already covered. Automatons can be bought with special automaton powers, which are below, that will allow them to apply damage differently. The following are special powers that automatons may purchase. They should not be used for player characters except with special GM permission. So, first one is cannot be stunned. An automaton with this power is never stunned, even if he takes stun damage that exceeds his con. The automaton with this power will be able to fight until it is knocked out or destroyed. So it costs 15 character points to make an automaton to not be able to stun. Basically, if you get hit with an attack in this game and it does more stun damage than your constitution score, you're stunned. Basically, you can act. Does not bleed. An automaton with this power does not bleed or lose additional body when under 0 body. This can be due to a lack of blood or mechanical infrastructure that keeps damage from spreading. 15 character points. So basically, I haven't done a whole lot on the bleeding on this. There are things called killing attacks in the game which do stun multipliers for making it easier to put someone down. But if you have the cannot be stunned, killing attacks are basically useless against this thing, except for the body damage, of course. Now there's another one, take no stun. An automaton with this power ignores the stun damage of an attack. It only takes body. This is the most important automation special power, and it can be used to simulate robots, zombie skeletons, or any mindless beings that continue fighting until they are completely destroyed. An automaton that buys this power takes no stun characteristic. The automaton does not get any points for this, and cannot buy its stun back. Takes no stun also affects the cost of the automaton's defenses. Base physical and energy defenses are divided by 3, and the cost of all additional ones is multiplied by 3 before applying any advantages or limitations. So basically, every character gets a physical defense and an energy defense. And those are a 1-for-1 if you want to pay points into them. So if you want to say buy a physical defense of 10 and you start at 2, it costs you 8 points. Unfortunately for the automaton, his base defense, which say might start at 2, divided by 3, he's probably got, it would round up to a 1. But basically, if he wanted to get his up to a 10, from 1 to 10, that's 9 times 3 is 27 points. So you see the big difference there. However, the base cost of this power is 45 points. An automaton with this power is never stunned because it takes no stun. However, if an attack succeeds in penetrating its defenses, the automaton loses one of the following: 1 power, 10 strength, 1 speed, or 1 normal sense, just like a focus. What exactly is lost is up to your GM. an automaton with this power that stops functioning when its body falls below 0, and is destroyed when its negative body totals equal its normal body. For example, a 10-body automaton ceases functioning when it has taken 10 body and is destroyed after 20 body. Some automatons are even tougher than this. They take no effects from any attacks except take body damage. They cost an additional 15 points, bringing it to 60. Such an automaton is completely unaffected with attacks until it runs out of body, at which point it is destroyed. The Game Master should mentally multiply an automaton's defenses by 3 when evaluating its suitability for a campaign. Thus, an automaton with a 7 PD is roughly equal to a normal character with a 21 PD. So that's basically automatons, and it goes into computers down here, which computers are a little different, but you get 5 character points for your computer for every point you spend on the computer, whereas automatons look like they're 1 for 1. So, all right, so that's the Champions RPG. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the DC Heroes role-playing game, which here's the rules manual for the game. So basically, robots in this game are gadgets, and gadgets all have certain things, and really the type of gadget is going to kind of determine what it has. Every gadget has a body, that's what it's made out of. So the stronger the material, the tougher the body. Body in this game resists physical damage. Reliability numbers is how reliable the gadget works. Basically, if you're using a gadget, say like, see if I can find one of Batman's here. Let me see. Here we go. So, let's see if I can find one. Here we are. So, let's take a look at the Bat Torch here. Okay, you see that reliability number of 5? That R number 5? Basically, whenever Batman wants to use his Bat Torch, he has to roll 2d10. Okay? Now, if he rolls less than a 5 on those 2d10, then basically the Bat Torch doesn't work because it failed its reliability number. The lower the reliability number, the more likely the gadget is to operate. Now, here's the thing about reliability numbers. You see this chart right here? So, if you have a reliability number of 0, means it will never, ever, ever, ever fail. Okay? That means it doesn't matter what you roll. You roll double ones and fumble. The gadget will still work. It doesn't mean you're going to do what you want to do with it. It just means it won't work. Now, here's the thing. Everything you buy with this gadget with a reliability cost of 0 is 3 on the factor cost for whatever it is. So if you have a power that's on factor cost of 1, so let's just say it's the claws power, right? That costs 25 initial points, and then on factor cost of 1, if you buy claws at 1, that's 1 point. So 25 plus 1, it costs 26. But because it's plus 3, instead of being on factor cost 1, it'll be on factor cost 4, which let's just say that's 4 points. I'm too lazy to get the other book, so don't get mad. So instead of costing 26 points, it now costs you 30 points. Okay? Just so you add, so you understand. So that's the thing about reliability numbers. Then, of course, you have to build the gadget. First, you have to buy parts, which basically, let's just say you want to build a tough robot. They actually give an example of a robot here, so let's just look at this. So Lex Luthor decides to build a giant robot to destroy Superman. When will he ever learn? He enlists the aid of LexCorp scientist Brian Lally to assist him in the nefarious endeavor. Luthor has a gadgetry skill rating of 15. Batman's, by the way, is 12, in case you're wondering, while Lally's is an 8. First, Luthor must design the robot. He decides that it will look something like this. Dex of 10, strength of 20, body of 15, intelligence 5, will of 5, mind of 5. It'll have the bomb power at 20 and skin armor of 5 and a reliability number of 5. Limitation. The robot is susceptible to the explosion of its own bomb power, meaning it can blow itself up. Okay, miscellaneous drawback, the robot must be recharged every 24 hours. So, now Luthor must pay the robot's hero point cost. Luthor will not have to add the factor cost of the robot's abilities. Since the reliability number is 5, 10 APs of Dex is 112. So as you see here, reliability of 5 is a 0. So he doesn't have to worry about that multiplier. Okay. So basically, he pays his 10 APs of Dex for 112 hero points. 20 APs of strength is 390. 15 APs of body is 240. Let me turn the page here. if I can get my fingers to cooperate. Alright, so 5 APs of intelligence, 5 APs of will, and the 5 APs of mind, which are going to be 28, 24, and 24. 5 APs of skin armor cost him 70 points, 50 base point. 5 APs at factor cost 5. The robot's bomb power with limitation, which the GM decides is a -2 factor cost. So the bomb power will cost him 85. Base cost of 20 with 20 APs at factor cost 1. Altogether, the robot's hero point cost is 973. Finally, Lex is allowed to divide the cost of the gadget by 2 due to the gadget bonus. Now, the gadget bonus is any gadget that cannot be taken away from you in combat. So like Iron Man's power suit or a robot that self-functions, for example. That's an example of a gadget that cannot be taken away from you. So basically, that's divides by 2. If your gadget can be, so like Batman's holding his Batarang and someone swipes it out of his hand or knocks it out of his hand, that's an example of something that can be taken away from you in combat. That is a divide by 4. So obviously, the more susceptible it is, the cheaper it'll be. So basically, he divides the gadget by 2, which brings the cost down to 482 hero points. Now, having saved up some hero points for a while, Lex pays the hero point cost. Next, he has to buy the parts. The cost of all the parts is 27 APs. Maximum ability is 20 plus 7 other abilities. So you just take the highest AP ability and then add 1 for every ability beyond that one ability. Okay? That's how he got that 27. So the OVRV of that's opposing value, resistance value of Lex Luthor's wealth check is 27. Lex has a wealth of 25 and he rolls a 13. Now, I don't think it's in this book. Oh, actually, yeah, it is in this book. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is the action table. If I can get my page to stay down. So you come down here to 25 to 27. And you go over here to 25, 27. He needs an 11 or higher to afford it, okay? You see that little red number there? That little red 11? Because it was 27 APs, that's at the end. You move it over here, and he has a 25. So he needs an 11 or higher to have enough wealth to buy it, to buy the parts, okay? He rolled a 13, which gave him 1 column shift, which I don't think really does anything on wealth checks, to be honest. So basically, he successfully buys the parts. Now, Lex and his buddy get down to building the robot. They must install the robot's body first. The AV is equal to the 1515 Luthor's gadgetry skill, and the OVRV is equal to the robot's 1515 body. Luthor receives a -1 column shift to the OV since he has help. They're team attacking. 2 guys on 1 guy. The 2 guys get the guy that's being attacked takes a -1 on their opposing value and their resisting value, okay? And since the robot is being team attacked, for terms of being built, that's why it's a -1, okay? In addition, he spends 4 hero points apiece on his acting value and affecting value, raising them to 19. So basically what you can do in this game is you can spend hero points to increase your abilities, and basically that gives you a better chance to succeed at your role, okay? So basically, let's see, lost my spot here. Here we are, okay, so raising them to 19. Lex rolls a 12 and receives 4 RAPs. It takes him 14 APs or 16 hours to install the, see that says strength, it's supposed to be body. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. I'm sorry. I'm having brain damage. Okay, so Lex rolls an 18 and receives 8 RAPs. It takes Luthor and Lally 1 hour to install the body. 18 APs of time minus 8 RAPs equals 10 APs of building time, which equals 1 hour. So the 18, where do they get that 18 from? Every gadget takes at least 18 hours, which is 1 week of time, okay? Every RAP you receive subtracts from the time that 18 hours. So if he'd done 10 RAPs, He'd subtract 10 from that, which would be 8 APs, which would be about 15 minutes. So now if you have a super speed power on top of this, you subtract your super speed APs from the time. Although nothing takes more than 1 AP at a time. Or actually 0 APs a time. You can't go negative. So, alright, so since it will probably be the most difficult, Luther decides to install the strength next. The OVRV is 20, but Luther still receives a -1 column shift for the team attack. In addition, he spends 4 points, and we already read that part. So then he gets the 4 RAPs, making it 14 or 16 hours to install the strength. Dex is installed next. The OVRV is 10. And Luther does not receive the team attack bonus because Brian Lally will be installing the robot's intelligence at the same time. Luther rolls an 11, yielding 8 RAPs, taking him an hour to do the Dex. Meanwhile, Lally is installing the robot's intelligence. The AVEV is, his skill is 8, and the OVRV is a 5. He rolls a 15, gets 8 RAPs, and he finishes the intelligence at about the same time. Luther next installs the robot's will and mind while Lally installs the skin armor. Neither of them experiences any problems. They finish these in roughly 45 minutes. Last but not least, they team attack the robot in order to install the self-destruct mechanism. 20 APs of bomb power. The OVRV is once again 20. Luther again receives -1 because they're team attacking. He opts to spend 7 hero points on his AV and EV, raising them to 22. He rolls a 9 and gets 7 RAPs. It takes the pair about 2 hours to install the power. The robot is now ready to be unleashed against the Man of Steel. The whole process of building took 21 hours to complete. So that's how you build robots in the DC Heroes role-playing game. So, let's see, we're on about 26 minutes, so I'm going to end this video here. This will be part 1. And when we return, we'll talk about robots and Doctor Who. So I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.